So we are joined by our new caretaker manager, Rick Holden. So Rick, you took over last week, first training with the lads. You know, you went down and met them last Wednesday, first training this week. Just start off with how you found coming in.
Yeah, they were a bit wary at first. You know, it was this sort of thing. You could see them scoping me out a bit. That's why I went down that initial one, and then they've warmed up. But they've been good as gold. They've done everything we've asked, sort of slightly new for them, some of the stuff. But the footballers and get on with it, you know. So I've been pleased with what. I think the last session was really good, so I'm just hoping that we can play on Saturday now.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're sort of doing some Friday afternoon, waiting to see how the weather's going to go. A couple of cancelled flights already today, but maybe tomorrow we might get away with it. We're hoping so anyway, because obviously it's been a couple of weeks since anyone's seen the lads play, really, because of the way the fixtures have fallen. But has that time given you like an extra bit of time just to sort of get to know them all a little bit more and work on what you want to do?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's difficult to remember who they all are. So many people I've dealt with in the last few months, but with the representative side and that. But I'm getting to grips with names and faces. So it's giving me a little bit of time. Also with the other staff who are good as gold. And I've brought people in to help me, like young Chris Bass Jr. And Matthew Woodsy. Plus Stuart and Dave, and Gaz Lloyd's been there a bit, and everyone's been helpful, and we're just piecing things together, really. It's given us that extra bit of time, but like I say, keen to get on with it now.
So just, I suppose people on, we sort of touched on it before we started about people on the arm will know you from your time at sort of Peel and Ayr, and also they'll know about your playing career, but you've got, coached off Ireland quite extensively, you said, about with especially time at Barnsley.
Yeah, it's quite amusing how selective some people are with what I've done. But it starts along one way. But I think when I came to take over Peel in sort of '97, I'd been here a year, and I was also helping out with the Ireland side. And we turned the Ireland side and Peel around pretty quick. With that Ireland side got to a position where it was winning the dog going off here, winning steam packet games against Burnley, and then we won the Guinness Cup. And Peel started to emerge as a power. And then, I'm getting to 40, and so it's 2003-ish, Andy Ritchie rings me and asks me if I'll come and help at Barnsley as head physio. So great, have a bit of time out and go and do that. And then a year after that, I'm plunged into assistant manager's role at Barnsley and into a relegation battle in League One. And we turn it round, and then following year we get promotion to the Championship. So that's my greatest hour. And I really got to grips with my coaching then, and I'm proud of that. So the task I'm facing now, I've seen it before, if you like. We've got to get out of that bottom group of teams and got to aim up the league. So it's the same process. And so, yeah. And I'm also helping, as you know, with when I came back from Barnsley, I got back into the Peel stuff. Then Herty asked me to help with the two Ireland games in 2015 and 17, and we got the gold eventually. And we weren't far off a gold this time, but for the mix-up, well, it's just, I couldn't believe it, classic cock-up of arrangements, how we had to play an extra game, because I really do think the lads would have won the Ireland games again. But there I was, minding my own business, and I get a message from FC, if I could help out, and so I said yeah, because I'm always willing to help out anything in Manx football, whether it be Ayr United, which was a great time up there, great set of lads, or Peel of course, and the Ireland side, and FC. So it's like a part of the scheme of things. So yeah, of course, help out as much as I can.
And part of
I
that,
look forward to it.
getting into the lads and us has been that training side of it. I know you said about you being happy with what you've done. What have you thought of the group that you've come in to sort of take over?
Well, they're a bit endemic of modern football, and this is where I've clashed with a lot of people about modern football. Is that, since particularly my playing days, but it was creeping in then. I mean, I used to get sent off in training for rebelling when I was at Man City. Sam Ellis used to send me off because it was going possession mad in those days, and Peter Reid would put on possession games, and I would lose the plot and get the ball and flick it up and boot it out of the stadium because it was no good to me. I was a winger and I was designed to cross a ball on someone's head or dribble and score myself. And then I found myself not being part of the game because, you were so hell-bent on possession that nothing happened. And that's, if you look at modern football, you can go 20 minutes and go and tidy up the top of your house and know what's happened. So my old school, they call it old school. It's not old school because you see it occasionally happen if you watch South American football or something, it's all attacking. So what we're doing is we're saying, well, we've got some good players here, but they're not actually doing what is effective enough, which is crossing and shooting, attacking. So, yeah, the players are good, but we need to create a good attacking team, and that's what I've started from. And hopefully that makes it more attractive to watch and puts bums on seats.
And how have you found that they've taken to sort of that as you've come in? I know I come down and watched a bit on Tuesday night, a bit on Wednesday night. Especially sort of the more players you see as the wider players like Boothie and Steve seem to have been taken to it pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, that's what the natural art, you see, and I think it's been something that they want to get out and do. So, these players, the skillful, what you need is to enhance what they've got, and it's beating people one-on-ones, getting shots off, getting crosses in, and create scoring opportunities, not just keeping the ball. Football's gone upside down. It used to be where you got a back four that defend, and that's what they do, and you got a front four that attack, and that's what they should do, and the midfield help both units out. But now, modern football, you've got the back four that's got the ball more than the front four, and the front four are two wingers and two centre forwards are living off scraps and making runs, and the ball never comes. And the ludicrous situation we're getting in modern football again is see it every time you put the TV on, and you see mimicked across amateur football is the winger gets it, is one-on-one, which is, to me, was just manna from heaven, that absolute one-on-one, and he gives it back to the fullback or midfield. It ends up at the centre half. No, we don't want centre halves with the ball. I'm sorry, we don't. Otherwise, they'd be up front. So we have to change that, just that thinking, that ethos, and get the ball in the final third and make it a nightmare for the opposition. Not an easy ride, make it a nightmare. Like trying to stop the tide coming in, that's what it should be. And that's what I was brought up on, particularly at Oldham Athletic. We used to devastate sides by just constantly grinding them into the dust. It didn't matter if it was Arsenal visiting or whoever it was, they got hammered. And you've got to believe in yourself to do that. And we've got the players here, and there's a lot of talent here, so we need to give them that licence to go and do it. And that's what it is. And at the end of the day, I don't matter. If they've got that in their locker and they've got the freedom to do it, get on with it. We'll just sit and watch.
Bro. I mean, without singling out people, you've got people like Charlie who are just... Charlie's one of them people, if you let him off, he'll do... I think he's our top scorer this season. He was doing well last season as well. He's one of them players who just likes to create things and cause absolute havoc.
Yeah, and I noticed there was we always say, like, have you got any questions, lads? And one of them popped up and said, yeah, he said, what about if the fullback bombs forward? And this is a wide player. And I said, well, they'd be more worried about you. And all you need to do is worry about what's in front of you, not what's behind you. So that's what we're going to change the attitude. If he bombs forward, he'll be, leaving himself very open. So And you put them off bombing forward by you constantly getting at them. They bomb forward fullbacks if they feel they've got that freedom to do so. So, yeah, people like Charlie and one or two others, a lot of left-footed players in the team. Like, well, left-footed players are always the best, like, you know. And
yeah, considering the
we'll let them off the leash. Hopefully, they'll go and express themselves.
Considering the dearth of left-footed players, when I was playing on the island, even 5 years ago, there seems to be a tremendous amount of left-footed players in our team.
Yeah, well, that's it, and it disorientates people a bit. You know, it's a bit different. But no, we just need to give these lads, you know. This week we are struggling with a couple of key ones you've just mentioned away, but that's football. That's amateur football. That this is. We cope, and I'm putting a system in to accommodate the best attacking solutions I've got, and they're aware of it. We've been through it, and like I said, we'll take the team. You know, we'll take the game. The team will take the game to Barnoldswick. That's what we have to do. We can't do anything else. We can't sit back and pass the ball around the back and hope something will happen. Hope we'll dismantle a team by outpassing them, because that ain't going to happen.
And just looking at the team, obviously there's a lot of lads who you're working with who've been around for a while, but you also brought Carl Clark's come back in to the fold. He's been training. I think he's in the squad for the weekend. What was thinking of bringing Clarky back in?
Yeah, it's experience, ruthlessness. He gets up and hangs well, heads it, and if you've got him and any other centre-half alongside him, the other centre-half's got a little bit of freedom. Mm-hmm. And I've known him a long time, and I know what I'm getting from him. It'll be Alex alongside, I think, and if he goes down with glandular fever or something. And so, yeah, it's reliable. And there's other lads that are experienced about, like Bestie. I'd bring him in if he wasn't injured. Because it is a young side, so I do feel we need some experience in there. And there's one thing's Clarky with me, and I don't have to send a message on for him to do anything. He does it telepathically with me now. So that's why I brought him in.
Just said about Bestie there. How's he looking? Because I know he was sort of hoping to be end of last month into early this month. How's he looking in terms of his getting back in?
Well, he's desperate to get back in. He's just carrying a bit of an ankle stroke Achilles thing, so we need to do a bit of rehab with him, which is one of the gaps we've got in the club. I noticed that there's not a rehab programme set up yet with the physiotherapy side, which oddly enough is my specialist professional side away from football. Is oddly enough, I did a master's degree, wait for this, in football science and rehabilitation. Mm-hmm. A few years ago, in 2021, something to do in the lockdown, and oddly enough, that's what he needs, some rehab on his ankle. But he's a terrific player, and we need people like him. He's a very utility player as well, which you need in his squad. Play him anywhere.
And just sort of finally, you said about getting bums on seats. The 12th man group put out a big post sort of welcoming you in. Have you seen much of that?
I've read the post. Yeah, this is the thing that they said they were happy that I knew Manx football, which I'm glad they did. Well, I do know Northwest Counties football. I do know Craven League football, which is Barnoldswick. See, I know Barnoldswick. People think I don't know it. I mean, I grew up 6 miles from Barnoldswick, and I played against Barnoldswick for MC Rovers. I was 13, 14, 15. In what was called the Craven League, and then in the West Riding. So I know all about Barnoldswick people. I went to school with a lot of Barnoldswick people. And what they bring is a lot of passion. They're a very passionate lot. It'll be hard work, they'll be passionate, but we've got to be more passionate. So I'm hoping that we are going to get a lot of people coming to watch us and they'll use the Manx passion to outdo them. It's our backyard. come and see our passion. And we're only going to get that. You've got to make them want to come and watch you, and you won't get them coming to watch you if you're just passing it. They want to see action, lots of goal-mouth incidents. And lads are capable of doing that, and that's what we're going to try and do. And that's the way forward. People will not come and pay money to watch you going through drills, which I think Premier League football wastes half its time doing, and people mimic it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you watch, without advertising the Championship and all that, but you watch the Friday night games on Sky, a lot far better games. I know I watched the other week Ipswich versus, was it West Brom? No, it was Sheffield United. They played 5-0 game. Absolutely fantastic game from Ipswich, just because you got their attacking setup that McKenna's got there, which they tried to do in the Premier League, which didn't really work for them, was very simple in a way. Get it wide, get it forward. And they were very, Ipswich, they recycle the ball, but they do it very, very quickly. And they're not a team who, look at going backwards, but you see that more in the Championship now, which is, to be fair, arguably why the Championship is a better league to watch. But
I just think it came in through a bit of the continental stuff. That's why, and the more, I've got a feeling that the more continental players we've had in, the more it suits them to play it at this slow pace around the back, which is what Spanish football was 30 years ago. But British football at the highest level wasn't. So if you watch an old, say, Leeds versus Liverpool encounter from the 70s, even though they could pick up the ball, they didn't waste time. They threw it out and got going, and it was very action-packed, And unfortunately, people have got this into their heads that kicking a ball long, a big diagonal, and crossing the ball is a bit brutish. And they say, the counter was that we like to play football. Well, where have they got that playing football from? What, you mean passing it? Well, that's not playing football. That's just possession for possession's sake. And all that's going to happen is you're going to undo yourselves, lose it across your own back four, someone's going to nip in and score. And how many times have we seen that? And I pick examples out, and it's important when I've talked to players to pick examples out. If you play like Southampton, you'll get relegated by Christmas, which is what happened. And the number of calamitous own goals that they created, their own scenarios, was unbelievable. And I'm not saying we're going to go and play like Wimbledon versus Watford in 1988, but we are certainly going to be positive and make sure that the majority of what we do is going forward and creating problems. And so that's where it came from. But then if you watch the South American qualifiers, which I do, I'm a big South American football fan because they have the flair as well and the passion. They get shots off and they get lots of crosses in, and it's very high action. And they turn things around the corner and they don't send it back to where it came from. It goes forward. And that's what we should be learning from more and more, and regenerating our passionate game. And that's what people like to come and see. They love to see a ball get up to the winger beat his man, cross it, and someone coming in near post diving header. It's what you want to see. And that, funnily enough, creates winning football.
Oh, well.
So that is just simply, in a nutshell, it couldn't be simpler.
Oh, well, cheers for your time, and we'll hopefully get a game on tomorrow with the Manx weather doing its best to try and ruin that for us, but we'll hopefully be down the bowl tomorrow night, and we'll best luck for the game as well.
Yeah, thanks. We'll give it a go, and it'd be nice just to get the ball rolling, as it were.
But, well,
so,
Rick, cheers for your time.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers.